It's interesting to think that all those things that you want in life, or at least think that you want, someone else was born into having all of it. Yep, from the umbilical cord and straight into your dream life. And you had no say in it, and neither did they. We don't get to choose what kind of life we're born into, what kind of family, and we most definitely don't get to choose our looks or our health at birth. We're absolutely powerless, and we know this, yet we often go through life having difficulty accepting it. But reality is that all you can do is do what you can. I'm slim, always have been, and I would get teased for it growing up. They would tell me that real women have meat on their legs and big breasts, and it made me dislike my own body. The world would have had to burn down before anyone would ever catch me in a tank top or skinny jeans. Instead, I would wear sweats all summer, and if I had to look more put together, I would put on 3 pairs of jeans on top of each other to appear thicker. And to add, I skipped a grade, so I was always shorter than everyone else, which only added to the teasing. And I think this is a classic example of a situation when the reason you start comparing yourself in the first place is because someone else started comparing you first. I was happy with the way I looked and felt in my own body until apparently others felt the need to express that there was something wrong with that, and suddenly you see yourself as flawed and everyone else seems better in comparison. It's been many years since then, by the way, and I love my body today. I love my tender hands and wrists, and my body is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. How dare I have ever let someone make me question that? I'm so sorry, dear body. And now, how I said that the world would have had to burn down before anyone ever saw me in a tank top. The same went for anyone ever seeing me in a ponytail with my ears exposed. Oh, how I would get teased for them. I hated them so much that whenever I went to get a haircut, I would feel a lump in my stomach every time the hairdresser got close to my ears. I would feel embarrassed. I would wonder if they noticed my ears and thought that they were big or weird. And anytime I ever saw someone else in a ponytail and they had small ears, I would think to myself, wow, do they know how lucky they are to have those small ears? What I would do to have those ears. And now, not to discredit the feelings of my younger self, but really, if only I would have spent that time focusing on my math exams, perhaps I would have gotten that A. Oh, and by the way, I learned to love my ears quite some time ago. I almost look like an elf from Harry Potter. And if I get to resemble that, what else could I ever possibly want in life? And if you see my video, I stopped being judgmental. My ear is literally glowing in that video. Now, these are only 2 examples of things that I used to compare a lot. Obviously, self-comparison goes way beyond just looks, and we do it all the time. And it's not always caused by someone else putting us down. Us humans tend to be pretty good at putting ourselves down too. And now I do think that self-comparison is inevitable. It's our way of trying to make sense of the world and of ourselves. And for that reason, I do think that it's important to learn how to work with it instead of working against it. And that is what I would like to talk about today. So I like to distinguish between 3 levels of how I react when comparing myself. And I call those 3 levels Dobby, Luna, and Hermione. So level Dobby is when self-comparison is purely discouraging and destructive. Level Luna is when you meet self-comparison with neutrality and acceptance. It's when the way that you view yourself isn't dependent on who you encounter. It's when you don't let other people or other external factors drive your behavior. Level Hermione is when self-comparison is encouraging. It's when you meet it with admiration and where it inspires self-growth. And there might even be a touch of competitiveness to it, but it's only fair play, of course, because anything else would be Dobby level. Now there are of course different levels of Dobby, Luna, and Hermione, and also a person isn't always one or the other. But generally, I strive for my default mode to be on level Luna, with the occasional visit to level Hermione whenever I feel like it'll benefit me. Where I don't want to be is level Dobby, and the first step towards leveling up from there is, just like with most things, through creating awareness. So what I do and what you can do is ask yourself, when do you feel that Dobby level self-comparison creep in? Is it when you look at mansions on Pinterest? Is it when you're on TikTok? Is it when you see that 19-year-old dude on Instagram who is making millions? Is it when you visit your aunt who won't zip it about why you aren't married yet while everyone else your age is? Do you tend to compare yourself to friends or to family? Take note of any patterns that you notice and, yes, you guessed it, write it down. If you follow this channel and you still haven't purchased a journal, purchase a journal. And now, this is of course only useful if you are completely honest with yourself. You know, I feel like I talk about honesty in almost every video, but it really is that important. And look, honesty can be scary. You know, it can feel embarrassing, it can make you uncomfortable. We may not want to admit to ourselves that we are comparing ourselves to a friend or to people we see online or whoever it might be. But in my experience, not confronting those feelings will make you view the world as your rival, and that might turn into envy and resentment, which are two of the least pretty words in the English language. Once you start identifying those patterns, there are two things that I find to be helpful. So the first thing is that I separate myself from anything that I find puts me on Dobby level. If it's social media, if it's a friend, anything that I have the power of separating myself from, I will. Anything else would be me intentionally feeding toxicity into my life, and you do realize how that sounds. And of course, if it's a friend, you should probably have a conversation first, let them know how you feel, and all that stuff. That's not really what this video is about. That is a whole different topic. And secondly, and this is probably the most important step, I try to understand the root of what it is about those things that makes me feel that way about myself. For example, why do I feel terrible when seeing fitness accounts online? Why can't I stand seeing anyone do better at me at work? Is it because I feel like I lack discipline and it takes a toll on my confidence? Is it because I know that I can do better and I'm too lazy and I don't want to face it? You know, whatever it might be. Those are just some examples. The point is that we all have things that we need to work on, whether that is our self-esteem or control issues or jealousy. And now obviously we need to talk about social media when talking about self-comparison. And I just want you to know, as surely as you know that the sky is blue, or cloudy if you live in Sweden, or foggy if you live in London, that not all things are as they seem, and you have absolutely no idea what is going on behind the scenes. What you see is not the truth and nothing but the truth. You cannot compare a page or two from someone's book to your entire book and call it fair judgment. You know, even the happiest stories will have pages of sorrow, and even the saddest stories will have pages of happiness. And that was all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I do want to say that if you haven't joined the book club yet, we are just starting a new book, so this is the perfect timing to join on Patreon. And I also post bonus material on there almost every week. I blog, there are some videos. Go check it out if you want to get access to that, and if you want to support me and this channel, no pressure whatsoever. And that was all. As always, I will see you in the comment section.